Okay guys, a video of the Aspire Atlantis coil rebuild. I've got the airflow ring removed from this already. I posted a previous video. You can watch it if you want to learn how to take yours off and get a lot more airflow. So now let's do a video on the coil rebuild so you can get it a little warmer if you need to or if you want to. If you don't have coils nearby, you can't go to a vape shop for some reason and you want to rebuild it, or you don't have the money for coils, or you get trapped somewhere and you can't leave and you can't go get the stuff and you need a coil because it's burnt and it tastes terrible. You're going to need just a few little supplies, basic stuff, normal stuff you're going to have if you're already building to do this, nothing specially needed. I'm going to zoom down, show you all of the stuff you need, and make a short video on how to do this. Okay guys. So, in front of us we have some dikes, needle nose, screwdriver, some rayon, 24 gauge Kenthal, and this is a 3/16 drill bit. Any drill bit works just around that diameter. You can go a little smaller if you need to, or a little bit bigger if you need to, but 3/16 is a pretty good medium. The coil that you burn out, a bad coil, and that's really all you need for this video. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. So we'll pull the positive pin out of the bottom. You can just rip it out, no problem. You have an insulator here. Take the insulator out. Inside there you're going to have your two leads, two pieces of wire, and the coil. Just go ahead and push that out. When you push this out, be extremely cautious. Do not push out this outer insulator here. You'll see it as I remove this. This is the old coil and the bad material. You'll see all these little liquid holes. The inlet holes have like a membrane around them, and that's going to be like a wicking material. It helps keep the juice from overflowing or excessively when you're tugging on it really hard. So when you go to rebuild this and you put new cotton in it, it will help block off that liquid inlet a little bit. Only two of these two of these little inlet holes are actually active. The other two are blocked. They're not deactivated or not existent, but they are coil holes. They just have a back plate against them, so it reduces the amount of liquid that's allowed to go into this inner chamber here. So without the media on there, or that membrane, it will flood a little bit. I've done a few coil builds without it in there, and it seems like it does better with it in there. If you guys find anything else different, please post it. If you like to cover that a different way or wick it a different way, please post it. But this is going to be the quick way. Just do your best not to have that pushed out. Sometimes I've noticed when I push these out really quick, I don't pay attention, it will remove that with the internal coil and the outer pieces of cotton here. So leave that in place. We're going to go grab our drill bit. Take this. Leave excess. You're going to need enough to go back down this direction here, all the way down. So we do our wraps. You don't want the wraps super close because you're not going to be able to tweeze this coil afterwards once it's installed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you can compress this if you need to a little bit around the drill bit. You can actually crush it the whole way, and just twist it to tighten it if you need to. If you're not happy with the tightness of it, you can take a pair of needle nose and pull it nice and tight on the drill bit also. So one lead has to be the lower lead. This is to the right. This is going to be the bottom or the top, whichever one. You can flip the coil either direction. It's irrelevant. But I'm picking this side right now. I put my fingernail or my finger up against the base of the drill bit. Pull the lead down, just like that. Now you can snip some of that off there. Just leave enough. You can see the amount that I'm leaving here. It's about ½ an inch, or a little over ½ an inch. And this one here is the trickier part. Take a pair of needle nose. You can use your fingers too. I just like a clean bend. Now you're going to take that, bend it downward, and it's just going to run straight down parallel, and you can see that these are both about the same length. That's going to give you enough wire to feed that through this coil tube here. You don't want this to touch anything but the outer barrel of this Atlantis coil housing. So it's going to be free floating. Same thing with this positive. Don't want it to touch anywhere but this center positive pin. This is the positive, this is the negative, and they're separated by the rubber insulator here. Okay, now we're going to cotton. It's all done out of the coil head. Okay, I'm taking rayon. I've already thinned out. Comes in a box, pre-done. I split it in half usually. thin it out a little bit to where it's not completely transparent. You can go thinner if you need to. It's just going to be more wraps to get the amount of thickness that you want around the coil. You're going to run it at about a half an inch or a little under a half an inch in thickness. That's going to be the width of your coil here, from the base here to the top. Also, you're going to see, if I put it next to that, you're going to see that it's about the height of the overall coil housing. That's a gauge, so you know what size cotton to do. We're going to run that through there, just like that. Take it here, start on one end. Rand's pretty flimsy, so you can pull off any excess if you don't like it. Start underneath there and tuck it. I usually do around 2 wraps. It's just enough to where I can keep the juice from overflowing. If you do too much cotton in here, you will restrict the airflow of the tank a lot. So you don't want to overkill on the cotton, but you also don't want to do too little, because then you're just going to flood. Okay. So you can rip it off. If you want a clean cut, you can snip it with scissors or dikes. It's irrelevant, whichever one you like. But you do have to run the cotton in between the coil and this negative lead. It'll keep it from touching as it goes down. Okay. So now I leave it on here. Take it. Now you've got both of these leads up against the drill bit. Feed it through. Try not to catch too much when you're going down through. This is the trickiest part of it, really, which is not even really that hard. I haven't done this with organic yet, or Shiseido, or Kojin-Do, or anything else, just rayon strictly. Now you can pull it down if you need to in here, and you can use the leads to pull the rayon down into it. You can also use a flathead to work it down into that little base in between the cotton, in between the coil and the housing. Just stuff it in there just for cleanliness so you don't have a ton of it sticking out, getting in the way. You'll also be able to see your lead a little bit better. At this point, if you want to, you can pull the drill bit while you do this. I just leave it in there for most of the process. You do have to remove it eventually. You're going to just determine by looking down into here which one is running up against the drill bit and which one is away from the drill bit. The one that runs up against the drill bit is going to be your positive. That's the one that you came out of the bottom of the coil with. The one that runs away from the drill bit is going to be your negative. If you put both on the positive, it won't work. If you put both on the negative, it won't work. You do have to separate them by the insulator. So I can look down in here and see that this one here is the positive and this one's the negative. So the negative, what we'll do is just literally bend that over out of the way. Now we can remove this. Now this is one thing you do have to pay attention to. The positive that we left sticking out, which is the one that comes out of the center of the coil, that's going to go through the center of that insulator. I'm going to put this down here like that. Press it in if you need to. Sometimes you have to use a flathead. Do hold on to the negative with your thumb, because the coil will move fairly easy if you don't. You're going to bend the positive over the outside of the insulator so you can see one's on the inside and one's on the outside of the insulator. Take this and press it back in. It's not that hard to get back in. It will take a little bit of force to get it in there. With a sharp pair of dikes, you can come in here and snip it off right at the base, as clean as you can. If not, you will have things interfering with the threads. You don't want this negative to touch this positive. It's a very, very fine area here in between. If you do, it will short and it won't fire. On a mechanical, it'll just burn. You'll get insulator taste. So that can't extrude any further than this threading area here. So it can't impede on those threads. It does need to stay out of the way. And you're done. If you need to take this flathead, you can go in here, press it around, and clean it up if you feel like you need to. But that's going to be your airflow. That center hole right there. And that's the drill bit that we chose. Any bigger or any smaller, you definitely have to, you're going to get a little bit more restriction of the smaller coil. So take it, pop it in your tank, and go to town. This is another spare coil I have. At this point, you can throw it in an ohm reader and get the ohm reader and get a reading off of it, or you can put it on your mech mod. If you don't have a mech mod, you can use any of those, like an ohm reader or whatever, to check it. So juice it up, pre-wet it, put it in the tank, and rock and roll. I'm not going to do a video on cloud production or anything like that. I will post some later time, but on this video I'm trying to keep it short, just build only. You guys enjoy. Thank you.